Am I the asshole for reverse trick or treating with my wife? Good evening. This happened a few nights ago, but I just heard it was causing drama today. My wife and I moved into our neighborhood a few weeks ago, and we live somewhat rural. We're in a small town, under 5,000 people, but have about 4 dozen homes within a 20-minute walk. We know there aren't any kids in the neighborhood, and we're told to expect no trick-or-treaters. So, my wife and I dressed up in costumes we had easy access to, nothing controversial or inappropriate, and stocked up on candy. We made little baggies for each house in our neighborhood with about a dozen fun-sized pieces of candy in each. On Halloween night we went from house to house, and about half the people opened for us. We'd give them candy, introduce ourselves and move on. We started around 6:30 p.m. and finished around 8:30 p.m. We started far out, and moved back in towards home, towards a few people we had casually met. Today while getting the mail, my wife overheard a group of people talking about the new, weird, neighbors, who decided to take up a chunk of everyone's evening on a Saturday night. That mixed with 2 of the houses on our route telling us that people don't do that kind of thing in our neighborhood, and one telling us we're going to burn in hell for celebrating a satanic holiday, has me thinking that A. we have at least one loony neighbor, but B. maybe we may have crossed a line in going out in the evening? I'm dismissing the satanic panic right away, but with multiple people telling us we weren't welcome, and the stuff my wife overheard, I'm wondering, were we out of line? Are we the assholes? Thank you. Not the asshole. Guessing that the snobbish church ladies got together to gossip. The normal people in your neighborhood are probably fine. NTA and strongly consider a move ASAP. Sounds dreadful. Not the asshole. I'm sure some people appreciated you introducing yourself. Some people will always be overly sensitive and unpredictable. Not the asshole. I don't live in your neighborhood but that sounds adorable. Not the asshole. Unorthodox? Absolutely. Asshole? No way. That's kind of funny actually, would get a kick out of it if someone did that in my area. Seems like a good way to introduce yourself to your new neighbors. Their reaction. Completely uncalled for. Don't forget to go around to everyone again on Christmas and hand out little presents. Just make sure the guy that accused you of celebrating a satanic holiday gets a baggie of coal. Not the asshole. Your neighbors are weird. Without a doubt someone actually appreciated it but didn't voice it. Don't sweat it this time, and maybe don't be so fun next time to avoid the drama. A chunk of everyone's evening. Jesus Christ, people are ridiculous. How long does it take to introduce yourself and give some candy? 5 minutes, maybe 10 if you have a chat? I bet these are the same people who whine that people don't know their neighbors. Not the asshole. Your neighborhood sounds a bit rigid, but to be honest, I might think this was cute but also irked that strangers invited themselves to my house to chat. I know this is weird, and I'm not even an introvert, but for some reason when I'm in my house I just do not want to be bothered. I know a few people like this, actually. You're nah, but I'm not shocked that people didn't universally welcome this. Especially post-pandemic, when at least in America, people spent tons of time alone and are still reintegrating in some parts. Although the satanic thing, that's ridiculous. Your neighborhood sounds easy to stay away from with people like these, that's for sure. Am I the asshole for following my brother's last will and testament? My brother recently passed away, and had named me as executor of his will. He left everything to his 2 minor children, including his 2 Camaros. His oldest child, who is in his 30s, Adam, was not mentioned at all. Before we found the will, the older child took possession of one of the cars and was driving it while he was in town. When we found the will, I as executor was fine with him driving it, as long as it didn't leave the state. At this point, I did make him aware that he could contest the will, and we were going to have to probate the estate. I know he went to the house and removed several boxes of stuff, including his siblings' clothing, photos, etc. Fast forward a week, and he's left the state, and took the keys to both cars, and won't tell me where the car he was driving is. Legally, I'm responsible for that car and anything he does to it. I've given him a week to produce the keys, and any items that weren't the personal effects of the 2 younger kids, or I'll have to report these items as missing to the probate court. He's looking at a combination of civil and legal penalties if he doesn't give the items back. Am I the asshole for telling him that I'd report the stuff as stolen and let him deal with the consequences? Not the asshole. Please don't leave it as is. Make sure your brother's will is followed. Not the asshole. You are legally required to follow the will and act in the best interests of the beneficiaries, i.e. a fiduciary duty. This is serious stuff. The estate's property has been stolen and you need to get it back ASAP. Run, don't walk. Get this resolved or you will be the asshole by letting the older sibling diminish the value of the estate. Not the asshole. Perhaps this behavior is why he isn't in the will. Grand theft auto is a bad look. Not the asshole. I'd give him exactly 1 minute to let you know the whereabouts of everything and the arrangement to have it all returned in pristine condition within 12 hours, or I'm sending everything I could after him to have it forcibly returned with no mercy to the repercussions of his own actions. He's trying to screw over his baby siblings, who just lost their father. He deserves nothing but the consequences of his actions. You have a legal and moral obligation to report the various items as stolen. And I wouldn't wait another 15 minutes before doing so. The ramifications of his behavior is his problem to deal with, not yours. Not the asshole. Report the cars as stolen. Not the asshole. You're following your brother's wishes even if his son isn't. Am I the asshole for only paying half my bill at a restaurant when I was overcharged? My buddy and I went out to sushi yesterday. We go to this sushi place often and always go for the all-you-can-eat option. It's about $27. I think it's a great deal because I'm a pretty big guy and a bodybuilder, so I eat a lot. Like, a lot. I ordered 8 rolls. I ate 7 of them, but one of them I just really did not like at all. So I didn't touch it after the first bite. I expected to get charged for it because that's usually how all-you-can-eat works. If you don't finish it, you pay regular price. Well, I get the check and the total is over $100. I see that they charged me individually for every roll. I call the waitress over and say there's been a mistake, I got all you can eat. She says that while I did order all you can eat, it's been voided since I didn't really touch one of the rolls. I asked why they didn't just charge me for the 1 roll and keep the all you can eat bundle, because I completely finished the other 7. She said that's not how this works. I asked to talk to the manager, who tells me the same thing. I said that makes no sense, and unless there is something on the menu stating otherwise about the terms of all you can eat, I ordered all you can eat and that's what I'd be paying for. We argued a bit and eventually I was just left staring at the bill. My buddy wanted to leave, so I just slapped a 50 on the table and left. I figured it would be enough for all you can eat, my Coke, tax, the roll I didn't eat, and the tip. Well, on the car ride home, I call my girlfriend and tell her what happened. She seemed shocked that I did that and said it's basically theft and is equivalent to dining and dashing. I disagreed and told her I was just paying for what I ordered. Well, I asked another buddy of mine who was a little on the fence. He said they shouldn't have charged me like that, but it was messed up to just leave with half the bill paid and I should have worked it out with the manager. The buddy who got the sushi with me is 100% on my side. So, Reddit, you decide. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Man, I was all ready to shit on you for not knowing the rules of all-you-can-eat sushi, but nope, you went in eyes open, and this restaurant is behaving cuckoo bananas. Unless there is something on the menu stating otherwise about the terms of all-you-can-eat, I ordered all-you-can-eat and that's what I'd be paying for. Fucking A. Not the asshole. That's not how all-you-can-eat works. I'm surprised that the restaurant has gotten away with this scam for so long. Not the asshole. What they are doing seems pretty shady. Leaving without getting it resolved might cause you issues, but, at the end of the day, it will be decided by the courts, if they take it that far. Of course, right or wrong, you can probably never eat there again. Not the asshole, but you probably should have stayed and argued your case, because if they charged you for something and you didn't pay, they could send the cops after you. That being said, IDK what they were on about. Every all-you-can-eat sushi place I've been to has had the exact same policy you mentioned. Not the asshole. That is absolutely ridiculous. They're trying to take advantage and scam people. Honestly, I've never seen that rule. The only rule I've seen in those places is that they won't bring you a new roll until you've finished what's on your plate. And if there are leftovers, you can't take it home. Not the asshole, they're legally obligated to go by the rules set on the menu. Unless the menu said otherwise, they were not allowed to charge you more. I would not have paid more than I'd agreed to by ordering what I wanted. You could have stiffed them completely, that would have made you the but you decided to pay in full for what you should have been charged and left a tip on top of it. Good job op. 10 Sushi has a similar policy, but they only charge you full menu price for unfinished items, incentive to reduce waste. I'd say you the ass if they only charged you for the unfinished food, but no, not the asshole. Not the asshole. To me, it seems like they were upset that you got such a good deal and were looking for whatever way they could to get their money back from you. It doesn't make any sense that the entire all-you-can-eat would be voided. That's not how buffets work. You pay for the uneaten food, which you did. Plus they couldn't provide anything written to prove their policy. Am I the asshole for saying I was actually offended by a racist joke? I look Indian. I've lived in another country my whole life, and have never even been to India. Basically a new white kid who I'll call Corey, joined the school. There are very few Indians in this school, but the thing is that most people don't really see race and I'm basically treated like a white guy, if that's the way to say it. This new white kid comes in, and immediately we don't get along well. It's a relatively small school, and as such when someone does something bad, they quickly and effectively get ostracized for it. Now, our first interaction already made me dislike him. He says that I'm short for a Brit, and then he says, "Oh, it's probably the Indian genes that make you short." People are already kinda uncomfortable and someone points out how I'm still very fit and I'm only slightly shorter than average. He sees this, starts touching me, and goes, "Wow, you must bat very well." And then he goes on to assume I play cricket. Already people dislike him after this, but the one that I'm concerned about happened today in maths. The whole class is trying to solve a problem, as someone pointed out a mistake in the teacher's solving of it, and now no one knows how to do it. Now, Corey goes, "Hey, name. Do you know the answer? Come on man. Channel that Indian brain. Do your forefathers proud." I say I have no clue about the answer and he replies, "Wow. The entire nation of India is weeping. The teacher is there for this," and he realizes everyone stopped talking. He asks what happened and someone tells him word for word what Corey said. The teacher asks me if I was offended by that and I said that I was. Corey is saying it was just a joke and he's taken down to the office by the teacher. I should note that a couple of years ago in one of the lower grades, of the school, there was a super racist teacher and she basically racially abused kids, then bullied others into not talking about it. It was a huge deal when it came out and the school is basically a, you say or do anything that is undeniably racist, you're gone, kind of school. So, when I said I was offended, I knew I was getting him expelled, or heavily suspended. Well, he got expelled, and now he has reached out on socials, saying it was just a joke and that I'm an ass for saying I got offended. I could have just spoken to him privately instead of saying that to the teacher. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Make racists uncomfortable. Not the asshole. Sounds like he's just upset someone finally called him out. Comments like that don't fly in the workplace and whatnot. It's a lesson he had to learn. Might make him think twice next time. Not the asshole. It's always just a joke when they get called out on it. That doesn't mean it's not every bit as racist as it sounded. It just means they want you to go along with them in enjoying their racism. I hope he learns from this, and I'm glad you don't have to be subjected to him while he does. Not the asshole, but your teacher is for putting you on the spot. It doesn't matter whether you were offended. Racist is racist. Wrong is wrong. That he said it should have been enough to merit whatever punishment the school doles out for that kind of thing. Your teacher shouldn't have tried to pass the buck like that. Not the asshole. You are in no way responsible for the consequences he got for making racist jokes out loud at school. Maybe he'll learn something from this, but you didn't do anything wrong. Not the asshole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or in this case, say racist jokes then get offended when the logical consequences of my actions bite me in the ass, win an expulsion. He's trying to make you look bad for getting him in trouble, when in reality, this is no one's fault but his own. Not the asshole. Casual racism is still racism. That kid got what he deserved, and frankly, something tells me he's gonna say something like that to the wrong person and they're gonna make him regret it. If he actually wanted to fix the situation, he should have immediately apologized the moment you said you were offended. Instead, I'm fairly certain he took that lack of remorse all the way to the dean's office and that's why he got expelled. You did the right thing. Never feel bad for standing up for yourself, or telling the truth about offensive behaviors. You're never the asshole for standing up for yourself or others. Sounds like he's been able to speak to others that way and has never faced repercussions. That's on him, not you. Hopefully he'll learn from this and think about his mindset and behavior.